Hi, I'm Lori, and I'm going to talk to you today about the other costs of GLP-1 medications. Now, we all know that Wegovy, Zepbound, tirzepatide, semaglutide, whatever name brand you get, can be expensive. They could be anywhere up to $1,200 for a month. But is that the only expense? Today, we're going to talk about that. Stay tuned, and you're going to want to stay to the end because there's some added expenses you may not have even thought about. Now, if you're getting a compound version, you may be paying between $250 and $500 a month. Still expensive. You may have doctor's visits. You may be required to get labs. This could be anywhere from no copay or payment of between $100 and $300. So that's an added expense you may not have thought about. Eventually, along the lines, you're probably going to want to get lab work just to see how the medication's working, make sure that you're eating properly and your blood is normal and you're not deficient of anything, you're not iron deficient or any of the other things that may come along with weight loss. So keep that in mind. Now, let's not forget the time, your time, in doctor's appointments. Even if they're virtual, it still takes time. Time does cost money. I know for me, I'm a pretty busy person and I don't like to take off of work if I don't have to for things. Again, another added expense you may not have thought about. Now, as long as we're on the subject, let's talk about nutrition. You have to have a nutrient dense diet in order to stay healthy. Now, you may want to add some supplements to achieve this. Now, supplements cost money. There's also protein shakes because you need to get protein. I know that I have a protein shake every day, and sometimes I have a shot of protein, which does help, but it does cost money. My protein shots are basically about $35 for the month's worth. That's an extra expense. My protein shakes are also basically about $2 a serving when you break it down. Whether you buy them pre-made or you buy the powder, and then you have to add the price of the milk or the water, whatever you use to make it. I also take collagen. Now, collagen is another expense, anywhere from $20 to $40 a month added to it. I also take a pre and probiotic, which is recommended, and that's also about $35 for the month. So you see how this is adding up? You may not even be thinking about these. Now, you may take these already, so they really might not be an added expense, but for me, another added expense is when I was losing weight rapidly, I noticed that my hair was thinning. My hairdresser also noticed that my hair was thinning, so we added biotin. Now, I don't think the biotin was much. I think it was only like $10 for the month, but she also had me take Nutrafol, and yeah, that was somewhere around $70 for the month, and I took it for 2 months. To an appointment with my hairdresser about every 5, 6 weeks. Actually, so it was about 3 months because she said there was much improvement on my next visit, and I took it for one more visit to make sure, and she was showing me all the new hair growth. So again, that was another expense that I wasn't counting on. Obviously, new clothes that actually fit. Some people do put that off, of course, because you're still losing weight, but you still need one or two things that fit you in case you are going someplace. And it wasn't until I actually got clothes that fit me that people started noticing that I was losing weight. Just a little hint there. If you want one or two little things to have people notice your weight loss. And let's not forget the electrolyte packages. Now, I use Element, which is a little pricey. I think it comes down to about $1.25 per packet. And I usually have about at least one, if not two packets almost every single day, especially since I do work out in a sauna and do sweat a lot. I do want to replace those electrolytes, especially on the days that I'm working out and especially on days that I'm working out in a sauna. Let's not forget fiber. Those of us who have trouble pooping or have diarrhea, fiber helps both occasions. And depending on what brand you get, again, another added expense. Now, as far as supplements that I used to take, I always took a pre and probiotic, so that wasn't anything extra. Let's see what else. The collagen was new because I wanted to help protect my skin from getting too much loose skin, although I am aging. And like I said, some people normally take collagen, so I don't know if it will be an added expense to you, but it was to me. All in all, I was probably spending another $125 a month on supplements, and I rounded it off with the Nutrafol spread out over. Now, there's also body maintenance, okay? Like, how many of us haven't tried some of these moisturizers that claim that they will help your skin as far as stretch marks and so forth? Everybody's tried one or two. Do they work? They help moisturize your skin. Do they really help as far as getting rid of those lines? But I think that most people do start using a better moisturizer once they start taking the GLP-1s and start losing weight and see all the excess skin. 'Cause like I said, whether that's an added expense, like I was just using basically like a Revlon or just a typical brand, and I've upped it a bit. An extra 20, $30 a month just on the upgrade and extra expense. Now, as far as Ozempic space, yes, I've tried fillers and Botox and so forth. That was an extra 800 or $900, but it only lasted a few weeks, so I stopped that. For some people, they have better results. I think I was a little late in the game and getting started, so that was one of the downfalls, but added expense because we don't really want Ozempic face and so forth. Again, I'm gonna consider some sort of surgery when I'm done with this and stabilized and actually have the time because I'm probably about, well, a lot of people do say that I'm retirement age, but I don't really see me retiring because I'd be too bored. I am probably about a year and a quarter away from at least working part-time, at which I'll consider something more because taking time off of work won't be as big of an issue. Now, it is highly recommended that you do strength training along with some cardio. So, do you join a gym? I have always been a member of a gym and I use a very low expense Planet Fitness, which is basically, I think, 25 or $29 a month. My insurance pays for part of it. I just pay for the upgrade, and I think that comes down to about $10 a month. But considering I've always paid for it, I don't really consider that myself an added expense. But I do like to work out in the sauna, and that is another anywhere from $30 to $60, depending on what type of membership you get, added expense. And it doesn't have to be like Hot Works where you work out in a sauna, but a lot of people will, hey, maybe I want to do a Pilates class once a people are like, hey, maybe I want to do a Pilates class once in a while or something along those lines. So there's an added expense. It may not be all the time, which is good, and added expense nonetheless. Now, some of us have an emotional toll from this journey, and that could be an added expense if you need somebody to talk to. No shame in that. It does happen. But again, this could be an added expense. People are struggling with body dysmorphia. People are struggling with body dysmorphia. Again, please seek help if that is the case. Money well worth it. I again say no shame. This kind of stuff does happen. I personally see somebody once in a while if I need to. No shame. no judgment. This is a non-judgment channel and hopefully no shame channel. So some of us may also feel isolated from this. Again, seek help if this is the case. And if you don't want to see a psychologist or somebody, see a clergy person or just be a member of a support group so that you could talk about this and see that you're not alone, because trust me, you're not alone. And this community has great support. That is one thing I have learned, and one thing I'm very proud of the GLP-1 community because of this. Now, remember, GLP-1s, GLP-1 medication, it's not a cure for obesity, but it is a tool that we use, and some of us will be on it forever. Some of us will be able to come off of it. Everybody's journey is different. So it's up to you to decide between you and your healthcare provider and a choice that you have to make. But I just want people to be aware that sometimes there are these added expenses that we weren't thinking about. So if you found any of this information useful or helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so that you don't miss any of my content.